Hello, I'm Nadia. Today we've got a guest, Elizabeth, with us from a charity called Hourglass. So Hourglass aim to reduce the abuse that older people experience. And this is the first time we're able to have this chat in BSL, so I'm really excited to have Elizabeth here. Elizabeth is a qualified IDVA, and her role is that she's a co-team leader for the south of England. So welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being with us today. Elizabeth, thank you for coming to discuss. I'm really excited. So really easy first question. What is Hourglass and what is the work that they do?
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you for having me today. Hourglass is a national charity supporting individuals over 60 who might have experienced some type of harm, abuse or neglect. We've been established since 1933, so coming into our 30th year now. We've been supporting tens of thousands of individuals who have experienced abuse. We run a 24/7 national helpline, which people can contact and ask for advice about a loved one, or we receive phone calls from a professional looking how to refer and spotting the signs of abuse.
Amazing, wow. So, just trying to kind of visualise this, abuse of older people. I can't imagine what that looks like. You know, what kind of examples can you give us?
Absolutely. Well, the abuse of an older person is categorised as a single or repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring where there is an expectation of trust. We often find a lot of our cases are between an older person, which is 60 and above, and the perpetrator could be their spouse, sibling, child or grandchild. We often experience abuse from misuse of power of attorney, financial, economical abuse, sexual, physical, but this is not limited to those abuses. Lots of cases can be a multi-layered case where they're experiencing various forms of abuse.
Okay, so just trying to understand about financial or economic abuse. Can you just explain a little bit more about that? What is it?
Absolutely. Economical abuse is the new umbrella term for financial abuse under the Domestic Abuse Act. It involves actions where it inhibits a person from accessing their money, finances. They may be scammed or coerced into changing their will, power of attorney, or even housing applications as well.
Okay, brilliant. So again, linking this back to power of attorney, can you just give me a little bit more? How do people use power of attorney, for example?
Absolutely. As an older person's capacity starts to decrease, somebody may apply for power of attorney and they may coerce the individual into believing that the support that they will give to them will benefit them, whereas really they're doing it only for their own benefit. So they will take the power of attorney, they will then misuse the individual's finances, they may move them into a care home and sell their property against their wishes, but this will all be maintained by the individual who carries the power of attorney, and that overrides the decision of the person that it's in place for.
Really clear. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So your charity, Hourglass, what can you do to help? You know, what have you been doing? You know, you've been set up for 30 years.
Absolutely,
what have you done?
Yes, we've been going for 30 years, and as I mentioned, we've got our 24/7 helpline, but we also have our website, which has a text messaging service, information bot, and a chat service on there, which is manned Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We have lots of resources on there about information about abuse, how to spot the signs, and how to report. We do webinars on our YouTube where we talk about abuse, how to report and spotting the signs. We help people across the 4 nations within our unique community response hubs where we have independent domestic violence advocates supporting on caseload and helping people who are experiencing abuse currently.
Fantastic. Wow. It sounds really great. So for people at home who are watching, they might have a concern, like they might know someone, maybe they've witnessed some abuse or they're concerned about that person. So imagine if it was me, what's the best route? You know, how do I contact your charity, or what can I do?
Absolutely, yes, you could use our website with our instant messenger service, which is manned Monday to Friday 9 to 5, and somebody can give you some direct advice and information there. You can email us, or you can text us as well.
That is brilliant. And it's great to see, obviously, in sign language, we've got the interpreter here. It's brilliant. So for me, I can text well in English, but for some people who are deaf, maybe their English isn't great. How would you kind of provide support for them? Would you be able to get BSL interpreters, for example?
Absolutely, we'd be able to get BSL interpreters, and we'd also be able to set up a Zoom meeting if that was convenient for them, or we'd be able to meet them in person in a secure, safe location.
Oh, lovely. That's really brilliant. It's great, so we know that the service is really accessible. So again, if we've witnessed something that's happened, how do we contact you guys?
Yes, by using our 24/7 helpline number, our text or information bot online, and somebody will be available to give you some advice and signposting on what to do next.
So if people are home, maybe they've got someone that they know of, they're worried about them experiencing abuse, what can they do?
Well, from our research, we know that 85% of people in the UK believe that abuse of older people is a problem. However, 4 in 10 don't know how to report, and 60% of them said they wouldn't know where to go if they could report. So we encourage people to come and use our website, call our 24/7 helpline, and we can advise and signpost accordingly.
So your charity, Hourglass, obviously, you know, lots of people have accessed your service, been in contact over the years. So can you give us an example of one case that stuck with you, of what support you've offered people?
Absolutely, yes. I can remember a case of a gentleman called Malcolm, who I supported. He came to our service after his wife passed away, and he was experiencing abuse from his stepson. Unfortunately, his stepson assumed that when his mother passed away, he would automatically inherit the home. But this wasn't the case. Due to Malcolm and his wife being married, Malcolm inherited the home. And his stepson was very dismayed by this, and he started abusing Malcolm by controlling his finances, stopping him accessing his bank account. He set up a joint bank account and made Malcolm cook the meals every night. He had to have the meals on the table by 6 in the evening on a weekday, 7 in the evening on the weekends. Malcolm's stepson would often find out where he'd been throughout the day. They'd ask him how long he'd been out, who he'd been speaking to. It was a lot of coercive control in this situation. So we worked closely with the local housing authority, and I supported Malcolm to go through the courts to get an injunction on his stepson. We completed a non-molestation order, which was approved by the courts. Malcolm's stepson was not allowed back in the property, and the local authority supported Malcolm to change the locks so he was secure in his own home. We then supported Malcolm to pack his items and move his items securely without his stepson's knowledge, and he now currently lives in an accommodation with lots of other individuals with a shared living area and a shared garden, absolutely flourishing.
Phew, wow. And you'd never think of things like that happening, would you? Like, it's happening out there around us as well in this country. Mm-hmm. Wow. So again, another case example. If, for example, me, someone at home, sitting at home, feeling really ashamed of the situation, maybe I've recognised that I'm in an abusive situation, but I'm worried about telling my close friends and family. You know, how do I get past that, making that disclosure?
We completely understand the barriers that may stop an individual from disclosing the abuse they're experiencing or from what they've witnessed from a friend or family member. However, we are a completely holistic, consent-led service where we support an individual with the choices that they make going forwards. We understand that it's very difficult to express what you may have been experiencing, so we take the time to understand that with you. We go through your experience We don't force you to do anything. We would never make a decision on your behalf. We let you decide what you want to do going forwards, and then we will help.
So how do you know? So, for example, if it was me, imagine I'm a bit older and I've got that shame, maybe I've not contacted you. How do you kind of recognise those who might be experiencing abuse but are too ashamed to contact you? Have you had that before?
Yes, well, we also do pop-ups and leafleting out in the community and across the south of England. So we try to get our feet on the ground so that we're actually visual to people. They can see us, they can see our banners, they can take a leaflet, and just this alone can help somebody disclose the information that they need and get the support that they want.
So, talking about age again, if it's a child who's witnessing either their mother, their father, or their grandparents even, maybe a child's kind of witnessing it and recognising it's abuse, because obviously there's more awareness for the young generation. Is that allowed? Can children or family members contact your service?
Absolutely. Anybody can use our service and contact for advice and information, and we would give that advice accordingly based on their situation that they're experiencing.
So, wow, the information you've given us is so worthwhile, it's so valuable. I think we all will feel it's really, really useful. So thank you so much for coming and sharing all of that with us.
Thank you, Nadia.
So here in Cambridgeshire, CDA have a deaf specialist IDVA service. So it means you can contact us if you're experiencing abuse or domestic violence, and we now have connections with Hourglass. So if there are older people out there who are experiencing abuse, it means CDA can get specific support from Hourglass and provide you with advice and signposting.